Hi, picking up from where we stopped yesterday, when with the division of the lands, I'm picking up my sharing session from Joshua 16:18, and so from here we understand that the tribes of Joseph's sons, drew one lot of land which they had to divide between Ephraim and Manasseh. And I wonder, and that's the for the left the and that's for the half tribe left. Remember, there was a half tribe of Manasseh, which decided to stay beyond the Jordan with the other tribes, with the Gadites and the Reubenites. And I wondered if this was the reason why they did, because perhaps they knew that they would have to always share the land with Ephraim, and perhaps maybe they wanted more land. But then there were 12 territories as a result of the sharing, and this is because the Levites didn't get any allotment. And is that a word? Let me just say allotment. And of course, because the tribes of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh had to share, so it was a total of 12 lots. And we see at the end of chapter 16 that the Ephraimites didn't drive out the Canaanites who dwelt in Giza, and they dwelt with them and made them forced laborers. Now, I wasn't sure when I read this. I was like, yeah, this is still disobedience. You know how when they'll say, oh, don't do this. Yes, I can do this, but if I don't do it directly, then it's not, what it is. I think that's what it was, because God's commandment was drive them out. But if they didn't drive them out, then I said, oh, now you are slaves. And they think that because you are our forced laborers, that makes it all right. I don't think he did, and we'll find out more. In the division of Ephraim and Manasseh, where they were put together, and the tribe of Manasseh went to Joshua to complain that they wanted more land to reflect their size. And noting is that their allotment was by far the largest, but it was still not enough for them. And it was also the most fertile region. But then Joshua tells them to drive out the Canaanites and clear out the mountain ranges in their region to get more land. But they too obviously couldn't drive out the inhabitants of the cities and the regions, but they were strong, and they put them into forced labor. We also see Zelophehad's daughters brought up again, and they approached Joshua about their allotment, which Moses had known about, but I guess they were trying to make sure that Joshua knew, and they weren't trying to get forgotten, and they did get it as God had promised. The tabernacle was set up in Shiloh, and all the tribes gathered together there. 7 tribes still hadn't gotten to possess their land, and Joshua sent 3 men from each of the tribes to go and survey the land and report back to him. And after they did, he cast lots before the Lord for the division of the land, and each of the tribes accordingly got their land. Benjamin's inheritance is described at length. I thought that was like, whatever, but then it was because it included the city of Jerusalem, which was bordered by the tribe of Judah in the south. And Jerusalem apparently is a big deal. I mean, Jerusalem is a big deal today, but I think that this was the beginning of it all. It becomes the capital at some point, and it's a land that God chooses to set up his temple. So I think that that's why they went into so much detail about Benjamin's land. Now here's where I saw God's character on display in these chapters. Jerusalem is God's chosen city, and many theologians believe that he stamped his initials on it because it is shaped in a certain way. So the shape of Jerusalem, how it is mapped out, is similar to the sacred Hebrew letter used to spell God's name, that the first letter, which is the letter shin, not shim, and that's the letter to spell Shaddai. So they believe that the shape of a Jerusalem was a foreshadowing of God saying, this is my place. And God chose to dwell with his people there, And it's the same way that God has stamped his name on us and has chosen to dwell in our hearts through the Holy Spirit. As the ones he has chosen, despite our sinfulness, we ought to just understand that we are God's own and he has chosen us just like he chose the land of Jerusalem. Well, I hope that was interesting for you, because it really was for me. And I actually went to look at some pictures and topographical maps that actually show the shape of shin, which some people, interestingly enough, have said that is the shape of a person's heart. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow I'll share lessons from Joshua 19 to 21. I hope you're still enjoying this book. I know I am. See you then. Bye.